Hey guys, finally I welcome you to my Kama guide. So today I'm gonna be covering pretty much everything I know about making Kamas. Um, I'm no expert, I'm saying that beforehand, so there's no reason people would think that and criticize me for it. Um, there's people with tons more experience than me. I just think there's a lack of English videos about Kama making, especially nowadays. Um, yeah, I will have these methods sorted by camas needed and time in the game spent or like how hard they are as well. So I will have a comment that is pinned with timestamps of every chapter basically. Throughout this video I'm sure you're gonna see my camas. Just real quick, don't be scared. The last video I uploaded I had 70 million, so don't think this guy just wasted like 40 million camas. One of the reasons I have so little camas right now is this. I invested in AP runes because they were cheap. I also lent 50 million camas to my friend so he can make some camas. I won't talk about how well that went because really I'd rather not talk about that. And lastly, there's just a lot of stuff in the cellar right now, and well, in conclusion, just don't be confused. I made like 30 million camas from the last video, so yeah, it's going pretty well. Anyways, yeah, I think it's about time to just get started. So the first thing I want to talk about before we get into real techniques is being smart and playing smart. The first point for that is your bank. It's something many people don't think about. So the first thing is costs, It costs you 1.3 kk to open your bank. That's not even that much if you're further into the game or something like that. It's very easy to waste kamas on zaps, on potions, on food, on opening a bank account over and over. So I'm not saying you should avoid it and just never use services like this. I'm just saying you should keep in mind that it is a lot of kamas that accumulate over time, and you should think about when you open your bank and not open it 20 times in 5 minutes. Another thing about the bank is the kamas that accumulate on it, or maybe even just the resources. I mean, there's 12 million kamas worth of resources on here, but what am I doing with it? Nothing. They're just lying here. One argument for that is that you can use it to craft stuff. You see here, there's a lot of possible recipes for me here. But further than that, like looking over the crafting, because you can always buy stuff back. Obviously, that's not optimal, but come on guys, most of the stuff you won't use much. So if you look at the estimated price for lot, you can see some stuff that is really worth a lot and that is probably worth selling. I mean, come on, what is this? When am I gonna use this? You can maybe sell some of this shit, I don't know. You can sell some of the iron. You can sell whatever, there's a lot of stuff lying on your bank that you can sell for a whole lot of money. And I'm just saying, don't let it go to waste. Don't let it just sit there for no reason without you using it. Make use of the kamas you accumulate on there and sell whatever, because everything can be converted to money, because money literally lays around everywhere when you play Dofus, if you think about it. Another thing is just picking up stuff on the side, if you see stuff here like sage, I don't know, trees, just take them with you. If you see drinking water, just take it with you. It's free money. It's not even worth that little. There's stuff like wheat that is not worth a lot, but 20 nettles alone, I mean, that's not a lot. But if you keep taking everything with you, it doesn't take much time, so just take it with you, and you can put it in the cellar, in 100 stacks of 100. It sells immediately. I can show you right here. Look, I just sold a lot of sage. Or if you look at my oh well, that didn't work. If you look at my sold lots, you can see here there's tons of nettles here right now, or sage, ginseng is worth tons of money. Grants as well, I sold those. It just adds up over time. That's a big thing. Things adding up. It can be costs adding up that are small. It can also be profits that add up over time that are small. And you should think about both. That's just something I wanted to say. On the topic of cost accumulating, stuff you buy in, say, the resource seller. So here we have an example of what is worth spending money on and what isn't. Say you need 10 bloodsucker skins, right? Maybe 50. Well, you could buy 5 times 10, you'll spend 165 per unit. It's not a bad price, it's not worth a lot. But you could also just buy 100 for 13 kk, and you'll spend 35 kamas per unit, and you can sell the rest, for this higher price, which is something I'll get into later, or you can just use it another time, because if you already need it in the first place, the chances of needing it again are pretty high, or higher than other things, So those are also costs that do add up, and I would consider you guys watching out for it as well. Yeah, it's just another thing to keep an eye on, and I would suggest you guys making use of everything that you can save money on by just being smart, because it does add up, and you can save hundreds of thousands of kamas, or even millions, depending on how long you play and how often you watch out for things like this. Then, some methods, for example, require you spending kamas, say buying stuff and hoping for profits when you crush them. My friend got impatient. He just bought high level items that are very unlikely to give profit, and he just crushed them. He lost tons of money, and now he's sad about it. So be patient with small profits as well. Don't waste time, obviously, but be patient with smaller profits. Don't just go throwing money out of your window. It's the same thing with stuff like maging. I'll get into those things later, but I think you get the point of what I'm trying to say. Just don't give up if you do something wrong, just don't be discouraged. Stay patient, stay focused while playing, and play enough, because you can't be impatient. Getting a lot of kamas does require its time, and not giving up is another thing. There are some harder methods, or methods that are harder to master, and I recommend you guys just keeping on going. If you fail, just take it as motivation to keep going and get better. That is just a point I wanted to add to this. Now let's get into the first actual way to make profits in this game. And it is very simple. Most of you guys would have guessed it. It's the farming professions. So why are they good to make money? I mean, there's probably better ways, right? And you'd be correct in guessing so, but sometimes you need to wait for things to sell, or there's a bad situation where the seller is overloaded, or things are at a low price. Whatever it is, or if you're just walking around the map doing anything and you come across things you can gather, even if it's just nettles, if it's just ash wood, if it's just bronze, just take stuff with you, because it is literally money lying right in front of you. On a server like Echo especially, a lot of things have stars, or high level stuff that is worth quite a bit is not farmed that much. So really, just make use of these kind of things. Now let's get into the first actual way to make profits in this game. And it is very simple. Most of you guys would have guessed it. It's the farming professions. So why are they good to make money? I mean, there's probably better ways, right? And you'd be correct in guessing so, but sometimes you need to wait for things to sell, or there's a bad situation where the seller is overloaded, or things are at a low price. Whatever it is, or if you're just walking around the map doing anything and you come across things you can gather, even if it's just nettles, if it's just ash wood, if it's just bronze, just take stuff with you, because it is literally money lying right in front of you. On a server like Echo especially, a lot of things have stars, or high level stuff that is worth quite a bit is not farmed that much. So really, just make use of these kind of things, and trust me, you'll make money. I showed you before what the kind of money I made in the last few hours of not being online, just from selling stuff I collected. I would recommend you guys not being lazy and just always walking past, because I get that and I do it sometimes, but it's really not worth passing on. And as I said, maybe you can't collect ginseng, which is, worth like 11,000 for 60, but I'm just using this as an example to show you that it does pay off, and especially if you do it all the time, you'll level the profession slowly. Maybe you can put some kamas into it to level it a bit faster, and then you'll make profits from farming various stuff from that profession. Or the reason I leveled my alchemist high enough to farm ginseng in the first place was because I did the Moon Island quest, as you can see by my border, and I ran around here the entire time. So I collected all these plants, and I made a ton of money just by walking around, just by doing these quests. I made a ton of money just because I collected all the ginseng I could find. Obviously not everything gives that much money. But I'm just saying, keep an eye out for this, because it is free profits. Level your professions, level your harvesting professions rather, and really don't get lazy. Being lazy is really just what destroys you if it comes to making camas. So yeah, really important to do this, and you can do it for the very start. It requires zero investment, it doesn't require any skill. You can just go around and farm whatever you see. Now, a very good beginner's way to make camas is surprisingly on this very starting island called Incarnam. You might be wondering at this moment, why would I go here to make camas? And if you're thinking that, then you're about to learn quite a bit. So, these drops you get here are usually worth quite a lot for the effort it takes to loot them. I mean, look at this. You get drinking water and glute skin easily. It's like almost a 50% chance to drop, plus this meat you can get just with a hunting knife. In the very beginning, you can get camas insanely quickly like this. I mean, the prices are sometimes higher for these kind of mats, but even now, it's really easy to get camas doing this, or, you know, go to Astrup and find the best loot there to loot. There are some great things to do if you just watch out in the bestiary, and, I mean, look at the chimeric feathers. Those are worth 700 camas each. If you think about that, they're like, what, level 2 to 5 mob, and it has like a 50% drop rate. I mean, sure, they won't be in every mob, but you one-shot these mobs usually, like at almost every level. So I would recommend in the very beginning with zero money, I recommend you, if you're a very low level, just come here, get a hunting knife, get the meat, because the meat sells quick as well. Farm everything you see here as well, because there are gudgeons here, there are nettles here, and they do give you quick camas, so that you can use to invest in more camas, or, you know, just generally get your set, get equipped, whatever you desire. It's all up here, is all I'm trying to say, and you should not dismiss this as an option to make camas at all, just because it's the beginner
Now,
island. Segueing over from, you know, the low level loot of Incarnam, is finding good places to loot and abusing those mobs, because the player base on the server is very low, so some things are just not farmed enough. That means A, you'll have little competition in the seller, and you won't have to lower your prices a lot in order to sell your stuff. And B, some things are worth way more than you might feel like they should be.
Hey yo, it's Future Paul coming at you with a new microphone. I just wanted to add something, because I noticed while editing that I didn't really explain too much. So I just wanted to show you real quick, how do you actually find mobs that are worth a lot? You were like, what the fuck, Paul? What's wrong with you? How did you find out that Neutral Pandal has great drops? Huh? Early today I actually harvested a Perceptor that gave me early today I actually harvested the Perceptor that gave me like 250 kk worth of mats. I mean, look at this shit, 20 kk, you know, 7.4, okay, that's not 3.3 kk, 6, whatever, you get the point. I got a lot of shit. And you might be wondering where I got all this info. So the thing is, there's no actual special way to do this. I just used the bestiary. I mean, I literally just went in here and checked for stuff, because I was like, huh, this isn't too popular. I checked the stuff and I found this, you know. There's some common things like on my island, because people don't like the mobster. For example, Grassy Plains, it's not very popular because everybody hates Calibris and shit like that. So that shit's worth a ton of money. Moon Island, there's some stuff that doesn't get robbed a lot. You can just take this as a general rule, because people just, as I said, generally don't do these a lot. So this stuff is worth quite a bit. I still have a Perceptor there, I believe. For a few days it's been here. This I placed this down today. I got 24 kk. There you go. I got 260 kk in here. So please don't raid my Perceptors, for the love of God. I hate you if you do that. You know, and just like that, you can look around. If you're not subscribed, just look at every single mob and compare how much the stuff they drop is worth, you know? And you can find out, oh my god, that's 3 kk, that's not too bad. Or, you know, oh, that's not worth anything, okay? So maybe these mobs are okay-ish to drop, but then you can also check more, and you'll see, oh, okay, this is a 200 camas, huh? Okay, well, this is worth 1.7k. That's insane, and it's a 44% drop rate drop. Oh my god. You know, you get the gist of it, I hope. Yeah, going back to my video.
I mean, look at Neutral Pandala for a second. Neutral Pandala is not a very special place, right? I mean, you get quick access to it. The mobs aren't that high level, but look at this. Kitsunufoi, it drops 3.3 chance, 10kk for a Kitsunufoi hair. That is an insanely high value for such a low level item. And places like this, maybe, you know, you won't drop these a lot because there are 3.3% chance. There's also, by the way, a lot of other stuff worth quite a bit of commas here. I mean, look at this Holy Bamboo to Amber 4.4kk with a 30% drop rate, or you know, Bamboo to Roots, Holy Bamboo to Wood, etc, etc. And even if you can't drop them because you're alone, there's still the option to just go there and place a Perceptor. So while you're doing absolutely nothing, people will fight in this very area, and your Perceptor will get XP for your guild, but you'll also collect drops, you know, that are worth a lot if you place them in the right areas. So definitely consider this an option if you have the Perceptor placing rights in your guild. If you're in a good guild, you know, with good Perceptors and in a good alliance that can defend them, maybe just watch out, because people do hunt for these, so don't let them stand there for too long. But it is a very good passive way of making income, which is a big part of making money, because you make, as I said, money lays everywhere. And on that topic, real quick, I told you about collecting stuff obviously just a second ago. What if I told you I made 12kk from walking from the Zap over to my Perceptor just by collecting half of the stuff I came across? That's right, I collected these pumpkin seeds and I got 12kk worth of those just from walking from the Zap to over here. Very, very quick, almost taking up no time at all. I'm not even high enough lumberjack to collect the trees that were here, the bamboo. And again, maybe you're not high enough level to collect these kind of things yet, so the profit isn't that big yet. But if you keep playing, and I already told you, you know, you'll level them up. If you have enough comments, you can use them as well to level them up. And it is just so worth it. It is insanely worth it. And as I said, I just walked over there. I just made 12kk. Making 12kk just like that, who wouldn't want? Now, going back to the topic of looting, or you know, using a Perceptor to make money in high value loot areas, multi-accounting is an insanely big thing if you're playing on a server like Echo. Obviously, this video is aimed at people that are playing on Echo, but there's a reason, guys. There's a reason they made a server where you can only play with one account at the same time. It's because multi-accounting can make an insane amount of money, in my opinion. Well, actually, it's not just my opinion. It is actually an insane way to make money just by, you know, playing the game. Because, I mean, best case scenario, 8 characters, but even just 2 characters, it doubles the loot you get. And, you know, loot can be worth quite a bit of money. So, whether it be achievements, you know, or just dropping from normal mobs, you'll just get double those drops. I got 51 Shin Lover skin for doing the Lover dungeon. With 8 characters, instead of getting 51 Shin Lover skin, which are worth 26kk, I would have gotten a little bit over 400 Shin Lover skin with 8 characters, being worth 8 times 26kk, which I can't solve in my head right now because I'm very, very stupid. Anyways, you're getting the point, right? Even the low drop rate items like the Kitsu Nufoi skin that is worth 9.9kk or something like that, the chance of dropping it with 8 characters is so much higher, or you know, just with 4 characters, anything like that. It just makes everything make more commas. Of course, you need to equip multiple characters, but if we see over that fact for a second, you will just actually make more commas. That is also why playing with 8 characters is a great way to subscribe an account. Say if you're playing on Elysiel with 1 account, but you don't have money for subscription, play on Echo with 8 characters and just farm Incarnate mobs, Astro mobs, and sell all that stuff very, very quickly, and you'll easily get 1,000,000 commas to subscribe for that 1 account on Elysiel. I'm just letting you know this real quick because I think it's a great idea. I can also showcase this in a video if you feel like it, if you feel like you want this.
The YouTuber Forum made videos about this. They are in French, but they're really good and really informative, so please do check them out if you want to know more about that.
On the topic of requesting stuff, please you know, if you want to have something explained in more detail, or you want to see how I make commas, or whatever it is, if you have a great idea, if you want to see more about my masquerader, you know, I just equipped him with new gear, if you want to see how I level, all that kind of stuff, please just comment away. I would love to get back at you with some answers or a video, because it just makes my day whenever I get a subscriber or a comment or a like. Even if you just have questions about the video or any sort of feedback about my talking or the style of this video, the editing, please just let me know about anything. I would extremely appreciate it, because I'm nowhere near perfect, obviously. I just wanted to say that real quick, but now we'll just continue. So the next thing you can do to make some great commas, or just passively on the side, because it is, as I said, very important, is A, almanacs, and B, just generally quests, or achievements. So you might be wondering, well, why would I have passive income from doing quests and achievements? Well, first of all, achievement points are a great way to flex on friends. Second of all, if you're not level 200, which I feel like some of you might be, because you're searching up how to make commas, and people at level 200 probably have found some ways already, you can do quests and achievements to level. You've seen probably already, I have 1600 achievement points at level 126. It's because achievements and quests are what I use for leveling. I don't leech. I don't go with high level friends to level. I do it all myself. I need to admit, I do have 4 times XP, but I do contribute 40% of that to my guild that I'm in. So it is not too much, but it is a little more than double, I admit that. But achievements and quests are a great way to level, and while doing that, you're getting mats, you're getting commas. So doing quests and achievements don't only give you XP or your guild or omega levels, they do also give you commas. So you shouldn't underestimate how much commas you can make with those, especially also with almanacs. Do that daily. Eventually maybe you'll get a almanacs if you're determined enough, but also some quest rewards are actually above 30kk, which is kind of amazing considering you're just doing an almanacs every day, which is just bringing them items. So that's another part I hope you're already having in mind, but if you don't, I hope I just made you realize that it is actually quite a good way to make passive commas, especially in the beginning when you don't have that many. The next way that you've probably heard of a million times before if you've searched for ways to make commas is treasure hunts. At each level you can start different levels of treasure hunts, and they do give commas and XP. XP is obviously a big part if you're looking to level, or even just get omega levels at level 200, or level your guild, or level a mount even. It doesn't really matter at all. Combined with the factor of getting pieces of maps or roses of sand, it's just some money for some easy work if you use websites that give you the hints. So if you look here, you can enter a starting position and then tell the website what hint you got, and it'll tell you where you have to go. So that way you save a ton of time on doing these treasure hunts, and you'll get some roses of the sand, which you can then obviously sell for a profit very, very quickly for some good commas. It is obviously not the most efficient way, but if you want some variety in how you make commas and stuff like that, it is definitely something you shouldn't underestimate at any level. Or you can also just play the Colosseum, because fun fact, whenever you win a fight, you'll get free XP and Colosseums. So I've talked about XP quite a lot already, obviously, but the Colosseums do come in handy, because obviously the higher your rating is, the more Colosseums you get, and you can really get some good stuff with that. That will sell insanely quick, you got a quick profit, etc, etc. And I also think playing Colo is pretty fun. So I would recommend, if you feel like it, doing that as well. And before you buy some sort of stuff with the Colosseums, just check what the best, rate for commas per Colosseum, I guess, is. And then I'd recommend you buy that. I can't tell you from the top of my head what that is, but yeah, definitely check that out as well, because again, it is just a good way to get XP, to get commas, and also a quite fun one in my opinion. Next up, let's look at a way to make commas that is a little more tricky, because to make use of this way to make commas, it's something people don't think of that often, to be honest, but it is quite smart. It is making use of new updates, new content, and events. Like the Christmas event that is probably already started when I upload this. It's the 2nd of December right now. But obviously once this goes up, it's probably like way too late, and you'll judge me right now for uploading this so much later than I actually recorded it because I spent too much time on it. Whatever, you know, you get the point. Because event stuff is only once a year usually, or whatever event it is. Just, you know, before the event starts, the stuff is way more expensive than when the event is actually running. So either you can farm stuff or you can buy stuff for a way cheaper price. Then you'll wait until a little later, you'll resell it for a profit. I think you got the point. Or, you know, with new stuff, if you just farm that stuff immediately, you know, it's just way more expensive, and people with too much money won't mind and just buy it. So new content is an insanely good way to make a quick profit if you think quick, if you have the right mindset, if you know what you're doing a little bit. So I'd say keep that in mind as well while doing whatever you're doing. So now let's get into the real deal, the things that might be harder or that just take some Kama's investment to make work. First of all, it's the most obvious one, the one you've probably heard of before. Maybe you've been too scared to try it, or you don't have the Kamas yet, which this Kama guide should help you with. Maging. Maging, you take runes, you know, you take an item and you put the runes on it. Right now, my maging professions on this character aren't that high, or none of them are at level 200, but I am doing a good job, you know, getting them up there. It is not something everyone likes doing or can do, so that's why it does make quite a lot of Kamas if you stay determined and focused. If you want to learn how to mage, I recommend wholeheartedly Dofus Reflex. I love them, and they made some great maging tutorials in the past that hold up completely up until this day. So do check them out, or if you still have questions or want tutorial on certain things, you know, I don't mind making one. It'll just maybe take a bit, or, you know, I'll have to plan that as well, etc. But obviously I have to do that with every video. Yeah, that is something to check out, but you will need a lot of Kamas to start off and learn it. But Exos, stuff like that, if you stay focused and you keep working on it, it won't take that long, and you will make a profit. Also, maging your own items will save money. You can also mage for other people for Kamas. Yeah, that sort of stuff, it's pretty straightforward, you know, but it is something that not everyone will do. So I'm just mentioning it. It's a great way to make Kamas. I'm also gonna do it once I get my, you know, maging professions up there to level 200 or anything similar to that. Yeah, that is definitely one of the points that requires Kamas but also pays out. Now, next up, I would like to get into a topic that is something I've used in a previous Dofus video. You know, I did use that to make those Kamas. If you've seen that, or if you haven't, maybe you could check that out. Actually, don't. It's not a good video. I just uploaded it for my friend, but I really appreciate that it got over 100 views. Like, thank you so much. I did not expect that reaction at all, but I'm extremely, extremely happy that that happened. So thank you so much again. So it is crafting or buying stuff, crushing it, selling the runes for a profit. Very, very big warning in the beginning. It is not easy to do. It takes practice. It takes Kamas to learn how to do. It generally takes Kamas to even craft stuff, you know. But it is worth tons of Kamas once you master it. I haven't quite mastered it. I need to be honest about that. But I've learned quite a lot. I mean, there are tons of good runes that you can make use of, like crushing for them, like just buying all sorts of boots, you know, crushing for MP, seeing what you'll get. The best runes are definitely like stuff like AP, MP, range, vitality, critical hits, AP reduction, AP parry, MP reduction, MP parry, although those don't sell that quickly on the server, sadly. Summons are also pretty good. Elemental damages, spell damage, distance damage, melee damage, those sell quite well as well. And then, last but not least, percent resistances. Neutral resistance, earth resistance, all those percent runes. Basically any runes that are worth a lot are great crushing for. If you don't know how to crush, or you want to know a little more about it, let me know. I can make a video about that for sure, or just show you, know, what I do in a little more detail. Yeah, that is my main source of income right now. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun, and you learn more every day, and with that you also make more Kamas the more you do it. So I do have to say, you can lose money very easily, but it is also fun to do, and crafting stuff yourself gives you experience in the professions. It saves money usually. You can also just craft stuff and sell it if the item is way cheaper to craft than it is to sell, which happens a lot on the server. You can make use of that as well if you see it. Maybe stuff won't sell that quick, but definitely look out for that as well. But otherwise, yeah, I won't go into too much detail now because I can imagine this is already a longer video. I think you kind of get the point. And if you don't know how to crush at all, like with focuses and stuff, maybe it's worth a Google or a YouTube search. I'm sure you can probably find some English content or just the Dofus wiki. Or otherwise, as I said, I'll respond to questions. I can make another video. Stuff like that, definitely a possibility. Now a more niche thing to do is buying, say, runes, crafting them together, because you can combine runes, and then selling them for profit. These, obviously, 300 of these runes would make 100 power strength runes. Those don't work, but you need to look at stuff, because you can't always take the same stuff and expect it to make a profit. Say if you watch a video of me and you see an item that gets crushed for a high percentage, don't just expect that it'll always be that way. You need to get a feeling for what to do or how to search what to do, and make use of those things at that very moment. So for example, right now I could buy 3000 intelligence runes for, you know, a little more than 12,000 kamas, and that is the wrong, that's muscle memory right there. No, fuck's sake. You can put them in here. You can make 100 pa int runes, and you can sell them. They sell fairly quickly, especially runes like pa int runes. And there you go. You just made 2,000. All right, I definitely have a problem, but you just made 12,000 kamas right there once they sell. So stuff like that works. You can do the same with resources. Well, you can craft them together, but there are resources in stacks of 100. For example, like stuff you get from collecting or harvesting professions. A lot of those you can buy and sell in stacks of 10, or also other resources. You just need to know, you know, are they used for a lot of things. The thing with harvesting professions is their stuff you get is sold fairly quickly. You can look at stuff like gold. You can buy 100 for 27 kk. You can sell them for 4.9 kk for stacks of 10, which means you'll make like over 20 kk just by reselling them. Stuff like that, you can search for that. There's typical stuff that usually works, like ores, for example. So I'd say look out for that stuff as well. You don't make the biggest profits with it, but if you keep doing it and you do it for like an hour like you would other stuff, and you just wait while they're in the cellar, you do make quite a lot of income, and it's a fun thing to do in my opinion, and you can do it, you know, once in a while. And I just saw that my community chat is in German, and I really hate that it keeps going to German without me doing anything, and fuck that shit. Whatever. Yeah, so do keep that in mind. It also works with other stuff other than ores, as I said, or just general stuff, general drops from mobs. If you come across them, you know, you can just do stuff with it on the spot. You don't need to aim for it, but always keep it in mind. Look for opportunities, and don't miss out on opportunities, because that is how you make a lot of kamas. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you here is learn the basics of economics, maybe, because after all, this is about economy. It sounds more technical than it is. It is just simple runes. Oh my god. Simple rules about demand and stock. Probably used the wrong words. I'm sorry. English is my native language. But you get what I'm trying to tell you, probably, hopefully. I don't know, maybe, whatever. And the server economy, in this case Echo, there's a lot of stuff you can abuse on servers like Echo, especially because of the smaller community compared to other servers. So learning a lot of this stuff and getting experience with stuff, trying out things, even if you lose kamas, you learn new things. Just always learn from your mistakes. It's just some great advice I can give you on the way. So basically, this is not just making kamas in techniques, but also how you find techniques to make kamas, so to speak. And what's important. But guys, while talking about what I taught you today, this is actually the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really hope I could help you learn something new. And really, please, if you did, I would appreciate a comment so much with some feedback, negative or positive, as long as it's constructive. I'd greatly appreciate it. Telling me what I did right, what I did wrong, stuff like that. If you also want to show it with a like or dislike, I would also love that. even if you want to subscribe to my channel, I'm gonna do a lot of more Dofus videos. You can pretty much pick what I do in the future as well. So you can tell me challenges, you can tell me things you'd like to see, whatever it is. Shoot them right at me. I enjoy making Dofus videos. I enjoy making videos in general. If you're wondering why there's few videos on my channel, a lot of them I don't upload, or like most of all the videos I've made are unlisted. But I'm planning on making more Dofus videos that I'm also making public. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.